Out of all the Final Fantasy main characters, I feel like Ramza often gets overlooked or not even mentioned when it comes to being a badass warrior. It's probably due to the graphics of the game, or the fact that people don't understand the differences between gameplay or what actually happens in the lore and canon. However, don't let this milk-ordering, baby-faced, butt-sticking-out fighter fool you. Here are several moments where Ramza was hardcore. At the first real battle in Garland, depending on which version you are playing, Ramza says some things to the enemy squire with the unique portrait. On the PlayStation 1, he says silence, surrender or die in obscurity, and in the War of the Lions remaster, he says lay down your arms or die clutching them. None will mourn your passing. I know Ramza is a nice guy, but don't ever cross swords with him. Our next badass moment happens a bit later into the game in Chapter 2, at Balia's Swale. Ramza just wanting to rush in and YOLO. The Geronimo is kind of weird, and this line did change in War of the Lions, but I still kind of prefer the PlayStation 1 line as it's him wanting to protect over telling his other party members what to do. Soon after, at the gallows or execution site, is where Ramza has another great moment. He straight up tells Yafgarian if you want the Zodiac Stone to come and get it. Then he proceeds to send him running and kills him in the next encounter. The last two examples of Ramza being a badass happen during Chapter 3. In War of the Lions, when he meets Isolde for the first time, he is quick to say, "You will have an offer of mercy, and not more. Lay down the stone you've taken, and you may flee with your lives." On the PlayStation 1 version, Ramza says, "No, why don't you give me yours? Do as I say, and I'll let you live." I know people love to think Delita as this cool, badass warrior dude, but honestly, Ramza is the one who actually defeats well-known and named fighters, on top of demons. Speaking of fiends and prominent fighters, after forcing Isolde to retreat, Ramza fights Wiegraf yet again and defeats him. On the verge of death, Wiegraf uses the Ares aura sight to transform into Belias to save his life. Ramza is not afraid and is more than willing to fight, as he immediately draws his sword and is ready to go versus this supernatural being, who he later kills at Riovanes. So with all that out of the way, these were the times where Ramza showed exceptional savagery. If FFT had the graphics of 16 or Advent Children, or if he was more destructive gameplay wise, people would be talking about Ramza a lot more. Let me know if I missed out on any other badass moments from Ramza in game, and I'll see you next time with more tactics videos. Take care.